I wanted to ask you, what inspired you to become an author?
So that story is a little bit different. I kind of became an author on accident. So my youngest daughter, initially, my youngest daughter, her father and I did not live in the same city, and he was very very. This was his first child, and he was very very nervous. He was like, we don't live anywhere near each other. This baby's not going to know me. It's got, she's not gonna know who I am. She's gonna think I'm the stranger. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, it'll be fine. She'll know you. You guys will have a very special relationship. And they do. And so as a way to kind of ease his nerves, I wrote a book for him called The Adventures of Kai and the Daddy Man. And it just kind of talked about the things that, they do together. And the daughter, looks to her daddy as a hero. Like whenever she doesn't understand something, whenever something is confusing, whenever something is scary, or when something is fun, like, the person that she wants to share it with is her daddy man. And so as I was writing the book, it was originally supposed to just be a gift. It was something, a small project just for him. And I was sharing it though with a couple people to see, like, hey, does this make sense? Do you like this? My brother-in-law is a librarian, and when he found out about the project, he's like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And he just started rattling off the stats for me, for authors, books that have books by Black authors, and books that have the number of books that have characters of color prominently featured, and they were horrible. And again, we just had a whole conversation about the fact that I am an educator and I've been in education for over 20 years, and I literally had no idea. Like, it was actually something that wasn't at the forefront of my consciousness. I'm an avid reader, and so I liked reading just in general, but I had to go back and reflect on, well, let me think about the stories that I read as a child. None of them, like, I like the Babysitters Club, Sweet Valley High. You probably didn't read those because you're a boy, but all the Magic Treehouse books that probably were they're probably popular when you were younger. All those books, they were great books. They had great stories. Harry Potter, The Hunger Games. No Black people, like no Hispanic people, no, it's all white people. So after I wrote, like, about it, the educator in me said, okay, so I after that conversation, I decided that this book would not just be a gift; it would be a book that I wanted to put out for a larger audience. And then I decided that I wanted to write more books. And then what I also recognize is sometimes we spend so much time thinking that everything for kids has to be educational. Sometimes kids just want to consume fun stuff. So my Kind of the Daddy Man books are just fun. They're just silly books about a girl and her dad, and the things that Kai gets into and how she processes the world. But the educator in me was like, if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna try to teach something. So I have another book series called Nathaniel English, and in that book series, it's about a boy who was also navigating the world. But as he comes up on problems, his mother explains to him or talks to him about a important historical figure, and explains to him, oh, you're having this problem, here's how this important historical figure dealt with that problem. So in the first book, they talk about Mansa Musa, who was the richest man who ever lived in Africa. They talk about Huey P. Newton, the founder of the Black Panther Party, and Toussaint Louverture, who was the leader of the first successful slave rebellion in the Western Hemisphere in Haiti. So we try to teach a little bit with those books, still keep them entertaining, but like add a little bit of history in there so that we can, like, teach our kids, their history, and it not be overwhelming or boring to them. So like I said, I fell into being an author. I love it. I'm glad I did. But that's my really weird story about how I started writing books.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's very interesting. I'm glad you shared that with us. So, how many books do you actually have out?
Right now I have six. Three Kind of the Daddy Man books and three Nathaniel English books.
Oh, okay, okay. My next question is, what is a think tank, and why do you think we need those?
So a think tank is basically where really smart people get together and think about solutions to everyday problems. And so I liken Just Like Me Presents my company to a think tank, because what happens is, I network with other authors, I work with educators, I work with parents. And while I'm pushing out products and services for those groups of people, I'm also getting feedback, and people are talking to me and telling me, what they think we need and what they think would be helpful. And we sit and we collaborate and we try to come up with solutions that work. And so think tanks are really important because they provide that space where people can sit and really dissect problems and come up with viable solutions that work for the communities that need to be helped. And so that's why, I like to call it Just Like Me Presents a think tank, because we're always thinking about ways that we can help support. So the podcast that I have, Rewoke, Rewriting Our Kids' Education, grew directly out of listening to people say, like, I just don't know where to go. I don't know where to, I don't know how to begin. And I need tips and strategies. And I'm like, well, how I'm only one person, and I can only go to so many schools and provide so many professional developments. What can I put out there that will help parents that they can access all the time to be able to get these tips, these strategies? And so what kept coming back was some people kept telling me, you should do a podcast. You should do a podcast. Then you can put all the information out there and people can consume it, when they want to, when they need to. And so that's what I did. So that came directly out of feedback, and the need for, additional help in a lot of these areas. So that's what that's the effect that a good think tank can have.
Oh, okay. Wow, wow. Okay, okay. Now, when did you start Just Like Me Presents?
So Just Like Me Presents, actually, we renamed it. We just rebranded. And we were Just Like Me Books, and that was 4 years ago. But like I said, what ended up happening was we became more than books. So, we're now curriculum. We have a supplemental math curriculum. We have a social studies curriculum. We still have the books, but we have the podcast, and we have the professional developments, and we have the workshops. And so we have all these things, and we stopped just being books. So now we're just presenting things where everything that we present is for kids, so they can say, "Hey, that looks just like me. That math song, that I look like the kids in that video, just like me. Those books, just like me. That social studies program, with all that information, the people, the characters, the stories that are being told in that curriculum, looks just like me." Like, so it's just like me became an umbrella brand, for all the different products and services that we have. So it's been about 4 years right now, and we just keep growing.
Oh, okay. Wow. Yeah, representation is very important. I think it's empowering. It does something for your self-esteem, your self-confidence.
100%.
That's truly, truly amazing. Now,